He's dead too.
Well, he's dead because he didn't believe in westernized medicine.
Probably from taking too much LSD.
Taking too much Apple stock. Okay, see, I don't know what else to do. I literally went into a system and I set Chrome, which is displaying the Hangout, and OBS to have the highest possible nice setting, which you should never do. You should never give anything a very high nice setting. But I did. Yet I'm still getting sometimes one frame every couple minutes through OBS, even though the Chrome Hangout is updating just fine. I have no idea what. I keep thinking I just need to, I don't know, a Franklin fix. I think I need to buy a video card, a stupid overpriced piece of crap video card that will suck up resources and cause my computer to become unstable. I don't know what else to do.
Get one with its own power supply and its own RAM, and
that's not going to make it stable.
That's why the pros do this stuff in hardware, not in software.
I don't know what other hardware you're doing, and that doesn't cost $20,000.
Well, that's exactly right.
buy MacBook. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that'll fix everything.
Oh yeah. Okay. Ken, go ahead and launch your Audacities.
Oh wait.
Well, my chair squeaks incessantly because I can't afford a new one of them either.
Get your ball. They're silent.
No. Quiet balls.
I've got big balls.
Whenever are you ready now?
And go ahead and hit record in 3, 2, 1. Record. Test.
Testing. All right. Oh, excuse me. That's a redwood stain burp right there, I think. Ingesting so much of that this week.
Okay. 478 mark. Ready.
Greetings, humans of Earth. This is the Android App Addicts podcast, episode 478. I am your alien host, Mark, the Sultan of the Galaxy Cockrell, and joining me this week are the guys. The trio is all here. The gang's all here for the first time in over a month. All three of us together. Eric, the executive Arduini, and DoorToDoorGeek, Mr. Steve. Wow, DoorToDoorGeek, Mr. Steve McLaughlin. Hey guys,
we're bringing the band back, man. Hi.
We don't pod fade around here. We just host fade.
Yeah. we listeners fade, and they just like, these guys again, whatever. Next time I reboot my phone, I'm not adding this podcast. Hey, so you guys' eyes burning from staring directly at the sun, or did you guys take the easy way and get a welder's helmet or something?
I bought some $2 plastic glasses. Then I had a thought. If you can watch the eclipse with welding goggles, can you weld with eclipse glasses?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you could. I went old school, man. I just straight at it. I don't care. It worked when I was 4 or whenever it was the last time I looked at an eclipse, because I remember it brought me back to the same memory of the last time. Like, oh, okay.
Now, what time of day did it happen now, Eric? I'm just wondering. What time
it was 1:15 in the afternoon here.
Oh, so you mean it happened during working hours? So I was
on lunch.
So I was working. And I was working, and I looked out the window, and I secretly wished everybody standing out there would go blind so I could not have to work with any of them again, because none of them put in a leave sheet, and none of them checked out or anything or signed out. They all just felt like it was their right to get paid for standing outside looking up and not looking intelligent. Just
Do you
saying.
expect them to fill out a leaf sheet when they go take a dump too? God, man, it was like 3 minutes.
This wasn't a dump. This was not a natural body reaction.
It was a natural occurrence.
It is naturally.
If
So
I
let's
walk out
take a
the
look
front
up
door
what,
looking at a car accident, I'm supposed to fill out a leave sheet.
So yeah, we didn't have, what is it, totality? What was
Yeah.
the word they kept saying?
Yeah, totality.
Yeah, we didn't have that here. We had crescent, which I don't know. It's the only kind of eclipse I've ever seen, I guess. But it was the same.
98% here in North Georgia. Far North Georgia, they did have totality. The amazing thing was, though, with the moon fully 75% covering the sun without the glasses, you couldn't tell. That's just amazing to me how bright the sun is. That with 75% of it missing, you can't tell the difference.
It was cloudy here, so it already seemed dreary. So I don't know how much drearier it got because of downstate from here. In Illinois was one of the best places in Carbondale, so it wasn't that far from totality, I guess. But it was. I saw a crescent when I looked up there for a second. The moon last night though was really cool. It's just a sliver. It was pretty neat, and it was one of those harvest moons where it's really big and just a sliver. Pretty neat. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty nostalgic about my astronomy at the moment, I guess. Hard not to with all the news, thrown in my face.
And on a perfectly clear day with no clouds, I look up and I see a hexagon in the sky that I follow around and I can't catch because when I was young, a incubator, and the lights were burnt into my eyeball. So I have a jerk reaction to not wanting to look at things that could potentially hurt my eyesight even more. I told my son, because he only got to see a little bit of it because of the clouds, and I told him, look, this is happening again in 6 years. For some reason, people keep saying 7 years. It's like they can't count. In 6 years from now is when it's going to happen, because it's not a full 6 years. It's not a full 7 years. I told my son, look, you'll be 19 years old then. If you really want to see it really badly, all you do is let me know. And I got no problem planning a trip, going to where there is totality. The only thing I would like to see isn't the eclipse at all, but it's to be able to, in the broad daylight, quote unquote, to be looking away from that, and then all of a sudden being able to see stars, and then not seeing stars again. I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, I made sure I took my kids out of school because, frankly, the school district here were just being idiots. So I was working from home that day, but I had a series of events scheduled. I told my kids, you may be out of school, but you have not stopped being educated. So I had a timer at various events throughout the day. And so I'd be up here in my office working, and then I would go downstairs and we'd do a little experiment. And then closer toward the time we went to a friend's house, where he had a better view. We have a lot of trees around this house. And they also had a pool there. So I had all kinds of experiments for them, like, with your swim trunks on, obviously, get in the pool and look at the ripples on the bottom of the pool. See how they differ from a regular day, and just look at see what's happening. So I tried to make it something memorable for my kids, but I also didn't want them sitting in a darkened classroom with the blinds drawn, watching the event on television. I wanted them to feel the temperature drop. I wanted them to hear the crickets chirp. I wanted a full experience. And, if my public education system won't educate my children on that day, I will.
Yeah, that's the same experience my kids got at their public education. They didn't want to hurt the kids, so they said that they would watch a NASA feed, which they didn't even let them do that either. So that was pretty cool.
And they literally had black paper covering the windows. Don't look outside, kids.
Just to make sure that there was no chance of them looking outside.
Right.
Wow. Okay, I don't think they went that far, but still, I don't know. Why wouldn't they at least have everybody make the box, poke a hole in the top, look down, and then, which was dumb. I mean, honestly, I feel that I felt cheated
for obvious reasons.
When we made that box.
For obvious reasons why they wouldn't do it, Eric, because a kid could get hurt, a kid could get offended, a kid could get upset. So they can't have anything to do with that. I tried to explain to my one coworker, they won't even let kids run for the most part, because if the kid falls, God forbid, the school's going to get blamed by some parent that you didn't take care of my kid right and he scratched his knee. Now I'm going to sue you.
Yeah, little Timmy could come in from a sunburn when he was out there looking at that pinhole in a box.
Yeah.
And I don't blame the
weird.
schools for this as much as I blame the culture for
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember my gym teacher telling me after I had to run the mile, she's like, Eric, I hope you have asthma the way you sound right now. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Felt bad.
I
I didn't sue her though. It's weird.
Yeah.
Picking on a fat kid since 1973.
Yeah. I mean, I was bad vision, bad athletics when I was really young. I remember my gym teacher holding me by my shoulders, shaking me. What's wrong with you? Just do it. Everybody else can do it. You're not special.
Remember that video when they made me do the splits?
Thank
Oh,
God.
no,
No.
too soon. Never mind.
So maybe we should steer the conversation back to something Android related. Anything new? I do have a hardware complaint. It's really a software complaint as well.
Well, this is the department for that. So
Yeah.
Take a number.
I'm one of the 7 people in the world still enjoying my Android Wear watch. And while all the pundits say wearables are dead, Google Plus is a ghost town. Wearables are dead. Flash is meaningless. But something happened. Presumably a software update, because hardware just doesn't generally fail in that way. And I went from getting routinely 20 to 22 hours on a charge for my watch to 7 to 8 hours. I don't even get I don't get to lunch some days, and my watch is just dead. And I'm at it's one of those crappy situations where if I could figure out what the app was on Android, there's no good way to roll it back. I would have to, hopefully find the APK somewhere out there that somebody might have, trust a sideload. Yeah, it's a crappy situation that we have ourselves in, and it's just nothing I can do about it other than wait and hope that something fixes the update. But whatever it is, it's killing both my watch and my Fitbit. So it's clearly Bluetooth related. And I think it's probably something Android specific, like in the OS itself. Anyway, I put that out there. Has anybody else had any experience with that? Any suggestions for that? Because I've gotten to the point now to be able to use my smartwatch, I have to turn the smart off. I have to keep it all day in airplane mode just to be able to have a watch throughout the day. And, that's just
smart.
crazy.
I wish I could find a watch band from. Well, I haven't looked. I wish I would press the buy button and get a new watch band for my watch so I can start wearing it again. I miss it, but I just haven't. I don't know. It needs to be. I'm almost afraid it's not going to charge now or something. I don't know. It's been so long. I need to get back on it. I need to just order a new band and start wearing it again, even if it's the stock one that came with it.
Maybe put it on the charger first before we buy it.
Just to check. Yeah.
All of these kind of devices we have need periodic charges or something. Even my buddy had a Nintendo Switch, which he didn't play for almost 2 weeks. And he said when he put it up, it was not fully charged. And when he plugged it in, nothing happened. And he literally had that. And I kept telling him, no, just leave it plugged in. Just leave it plugged in. Just whatever. Stop touching it. Just leave it plugged in. Stop unplugging it. Just leave it plugged in. And after almost 2 hours of being plugged in, it came to life. I've had multiple phones in the past when I leave them unplugged for any length of time, a couple months or whatever. When you plug them in, they act like they're completely dead. If you just leave them plugged in, sometimes overnight, they'll just seemingly randomly just pop to life kind of thing. It's with a lot of devices like that. So even if you're not using it, I encourage you every couple weeks, just plug it up even for 3 seconds and unplug it.
Are you comfortable with just rebooting it, just nuke and paving it? Do you think that? I mean, that may fix it.
With me, my watch?
Yeah.
I don't think that's it. I don't think it's the watch. I think it's the phone.
But I mean, you might have a buggy app or some kind of thing going on. Sometimes nuking and paving does, fix things on Android. My phone feels much snappier after I do that. I do it about every 7 months or so.
I've definitely fallen out of love with this Moto X Pure device as it has aged. All phones do. It's the SD memory. It gets crufty. This thing is 2-ish, maybe 3 years old. I don't even remember when I bought it, but it really just kind of sucks all the time now. And I did try just recently a flat factory reinstall, and it didn't help.
Yeah, when a phone has that kind of reaction, or any kind of wear device has that kind of reaction, I first instinctively think is the battery. Did like half of the battery cell die, kind of thing? Because I don't know. Well, I don't know what to think, but this is one of the things that really makes me cantankerous. Is the only word I can think of. Every single release of Android, the top 3 features, one of them is always improved battery life. Why don't you shut your stinking hole and actually improve battery life? Because you haven't. From everything every user goes through version updates, and they do updates on their phone, nobody in the world except for journalists ever say, I got this update on my phone. My phone lasts almost twice as long. No, because it doesn't happen.
I'm gonna say, I just got Android O. Noticeable difference in battery. I mean, I've had Android O for a long time on the beta. I got the official full baked release right now until the next beta comes out, and it probably destroys it again. But from the beta, the last beta I was on to this one, I can see it.
Eric, do you know what that is called? You can look up the definition later. It's called anecdotal evidence. It's not evidence.
Okay. I did not do a study. You're right.
If it happens to one person, it's not real. Okay. For all you know, it's a figment of your imagination, and it's confirmation bias. Did you actually write down stats and logs and notes for any of this?
No, I don't care enough to.
So then it's great that you say that. I hope you feel better. But that's as far as I can take it.
Oh man,
I love you.
I've never had this experience.
Passive aggressive to me.
Lithium batteries, but I knew the old-fashioned lead acid batteries can die like that because it happened to me just last week. Last Wednesday, I drove the car, started fine. I drove it 30 miles, turned it off, turned it back on, click, 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 just like that, dead. Put it on a charger. Half an hour later, nothing. So yeah, the battery was fine. Quote. It was, it was at 1% above minimal capacity, and then it went to 1% below minimal capacity. It was a 6-year-old battery. It was time. But from the user experience, it was, hey, this thing was fine half an hour ago, and then no more.
Right. I mean, I hope I'm wrong in both. Eric, I hope your phone battery gets fantastical results. So fantastic that the U.S. government comes and takes the phone from you for further research to find out why the hell that phone does so good.
I'm ready for a new one anyway. They can take it.
And Mark, I really do hope it's one of those things, because I have seen it where my phone all of a sudden one day, seemingly nothing I can identify changes, and I see definite attitude is the way I look at it. Issues on my device where this does not do this before. What is going on? And then randomly, 3 days, 2 weeks, 3 months later, whatever, it will just like snap back into place where, oh, okay, now GPS is working fine all of a sudden, like there's no problem. Hopefully it's one of those things, and hopefully it's over quick. I will say this: if you keep on top of Android updates every time it gets into beta, every time it comes out, no, one of the constant ongoing issues for the last 3 versions have been severe, hard-hitting Bluetooth issues. So it wouldn't shock me if it's literally just that. Because I don't know about you, but 90% of the time when I get out of the car, I literally have to reboot my car in order to get it to correctly and accurately disconnect from my phone. If I try to switch from my phone to my wife kind of thing, that makes no sense. This is literally old technology. The name is based off of mythological Viking stuff, for God's sake. It should be able to work.
I'll have to say that I have had, now this is just anecdotal, but I have had the same Bluetooth issues that I had before with the new Android O. So that didn't change, even though it's supposed to be like HD or high res or super quality, or I don't know.
It's 4K. It's
4K Bluetooth.
It's small batch, organically grown, locally sourced,
Artisanal.
artisanal Bluetooth.
Yeah.
All right. Well, after all of that ranting and raving, we should call this show Geek Rant. That would be a good name for a podcast. Maybe
It could work. It could work.
How about we talk about some Android apps? And Eric, you've been away so long. Why don't you start us off? By the way, I don't have any email tonight because the two that were in my inbox were both clearly spam. So,
Really?
yeah.
Really?
One from Microsoft Flight Simulator from a very attractive Asian girl. And another one from Patreon, which probably was intended for Door anyway.
We had two actually.
Yeah. One was from Flight Simulator wanting to reach out to Mark,
Yeah.
asking if he's ready to get his license.
One was on. Well, it was from August 18th from Gustavo, and the other one was from August 20 from Trevor. I thought.
I don't think I got either of those.
Well, they came to AAA. I'm just saying.
I search my in-basket right now for Gustavo. Nothing comes up.
Well, first off, let's just be honest, Mark. I probably didn't spell it right when I said it. Gustavo.
Gustavo. Absolutely. Perfect. I got an email from Gloria Chastanugi wanting to sell me some plant hangers if I do some illegal crap around the Amazon. But
anyway, enough about that.
Okay.
So unless Door's got some email, I got nothing to read.
Well,
So,
I do, but my address book ain't working right now. If I try to forward it, it's going to take me 20 minutes. So we'll bring that another week.
and you guys didn't step up and give Patreon money, so we are legally contractually obligated not to bring in any Android apps tonight. I'm sorry. That just
yeah, I was just going to talk about Oreo cookie and how magical that they picked that name instead of some other name, and just how amazed I am that it's Oreo. I really thought it was going to be orange. What do you think, Dor?
I think it's remarkably funny, funny how they literally, you take a look at the Oreo character, there is no clear identifiable sex whatsoever. Yet because of their recent issues, they say that the Oreo statue is clearly a girl.
what the what?
Yes. Yes. If you read their press announcement for it, they say it's clearly a woman because of, how do they put it? Her playful nature and intelligence and stability.
I don't even see the Oreo. What does it look like?
The statue that's sitting out front of the Google complex.
Is it just an Android with an Oreo stuck to it?
In the middle of its body, like its main body is an Oreo.
That's definitely a dress.
Yeah.
That Oreo's wearing.
No, that's a cape.
Oh, yes, right. Female.
But they're insistent,
superstar or superhero.
Right. They're very insistent it was a female. And I'm thinking, kind of funny that you have this stuff happen with this guy writing this memo that you don't like, that you fire, and now all of a sudden you say it's a woman.
It's the boots. Those are clearly chick boots.
I don't know. I just think
wear those boots.
I just think it's kind of upsetting that they assumed its gender. That's kind of wrong of them.
She has bracelets on.
Yeah, no chick would wear those boots. They're Wonder Woman boots.
I guess, sure. Well, then that's just it. I can't say it. But
yeah, it's clearly Wonder Woman.
Again, Android is unbelievably matures. I never thought we would get to this kind of maturity where, yeah,
I know that's crazy.
Where the number one selling feature isn't even a feature. Okay, none of their selling features are selling features. If you went into a store and you were looking at buying a device, and they said, "Well, this has improved. This has better battery life for picture-in-pictures." I'm sure 90% of people say, "Why the hell do I need picture-in-picture?" What? Because they're not. Because 90% of the people out there will never use it. And then their other selling
use it accidentally.
Is like, same here. And then their other selling feature is the seamless upgrade thing, where it's going to be able to do updates and upgrades in the back without affecting your runtime performance, which is a great thing to give. But no end user is going to go, I need that. Bobby down the street has that on his iPhone, and that's what I need. So they're very boring, drab feature list, which I hopefully to me means more stable, more stability. I was going to say more security, but I don't want to be laughed out of the show.
It's an optimistic way to look at it, Door. I'm glad to hear you're on on that side.
We've just reached a point where, without going in a completely different direction, there's not a lot else you can do. And between the iPhone and Android and even the Windows Phone offerings, they're solid offerings. They do what a phone should do. We just need the new iPhone, whatever that's going to be, the new thing.
Yeah.
But until then, it's always going to be the same thing.
We need hard competition from something, whether it be aliens, like Mark said, or from Uzbekistan. I don't know, something.
We need a roll-up screen that we can just roll up like a straw and just stick it behind our ear like a cigarette, and then it just vibrates whenever we got a call, so we don't have to have it vibrate in our pants, and it'll be closer to our brain rather than our reproductive organs.
Interesting question. Put on your future glasses, and let's look ahead to the year 2117, 100 years from today.
Jeez.
Are people still fondling slabs of glass?
No.
I'm going to say yes, but they're going to be completely different. Nothing about them is going to be even recognizable, except for it appears when it's turned off to be flat. Because I'm pretty sure that when you turn it on, it's not going to be flat anymore.
I think we will have OLED tattoos that it'll just show up on our skin.
Why? That's too much like work. Then you got to move two things to look at something.
And it goes on like the cheap fake tattoos that you just add some water. I really think there'll be no device. We'll use our own bodies as the if you don't eat enough General Mills cereal, your battery will go dead towards the end of the day.
Wasn't that Peter F. Hamilton who had the tattoos that were circuits in one of his book, the Pandora Star series? Is that what I'm thinking of?
I haven't read that.
I think what you described is a subtopic in some sci-fi guide that I recently read. Recently, as in sometime between now and the time I was born. Where you had digital circuitry tattooed onto your body, and that was your computer interface.
Yeah, see, I don't think anything remotely close like that is going to happen. I think there was an internet video I shared, and supposedly I believe Ready Player One has aspects of this, but I think everything's going to be basically AR because obviously your house, your stores you go to, your place of work is entirely too boring. So every place you go is going to be enhanced by a AR, augmented reality. And the one video I showed, basically you could earn extra bonus points and things for doing certain experiences that could then help your experience be a little bit more colorful, a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more fun kind of thing. And then in the video, the person's account got hacked. So they went back to level 0 where everything looked really stupid, dumb, and boring again. Because we don't need real stuff on our skin. We don't need real screens in front of us. All we need is the appearance of real. Augmented reality is perfectly acceptable in place of the real thing, because it doesn't matter if somebody across the street can look at us and see the real us. What matters is, can we look across and we see a beautified version of them? That's my personal belief.
No, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, when you're talking about that augmented reality, you hit on it there at the end. It's other people's perception of you. I can see me plain as long as you see me sexy. That's all that really matters.
Right. Oh yeah. And I hate to say it, it basically completely thrives off of people's inability to really be human and to be a little bit self-serving and just worrying about that little pleasure thing in our brain. Yeah. I don't know. I've been wrong a million times.
So we can't obviously grow antennas, but so you just the one part, get your canine tattooed with some old-fashioned Indian ink, and that'll be your Bluetooth. Anyway, that was a long way to get there.
Yeah, so I was just Googling it while we were talking about that. OC tattoos, organic surgery tattoos, are a major technological device in the Peter F. Hamilton Pandora series, the Commonwealth Saga. The These are tattooed on the skin and resemble colorful, often metallic tattoos, and serve hundreds of purposes, from transferring credits to serving as sensors. Their main function is to act as processors for other implants, which may function at a reduced capacity if the tattoo is damaged. So I called that one right. And yeah, without ever having read it, you and Peter F. Hamilton were thinking the same thing there.
I like the idea of tattooed sensors, though. If you want to see exactly how cold a pool water is or something, by just sticking your tattooed finger into the water.
I was going to say, we already have a sensor for that, Eric.
That could show up on your retinal augmented reality. That'd be pretty cool.
Because when you dip your toe in to find out how cold it is, you can find out exactly how
you
cold.
need to know. Yeah. Because it's hard to tell the difference between 79 and 84, degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, there's comfortable and uncomfortable. That's all you really need to know. I don't know. So I still think actually the rectangular slab of something semi-transparent, I think that paradigm is going to be around for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised to see 100 years from now some version of that be, because it's such a handy form factor that you intuitively know how to work with. You can put an iPad down in front of a 2-year-old, a 2-month-old, and they intuitively know how to interact with it. And so I think that it's going to be around for a while, but I think that will be, the extensions of the things that are already in our brains, probably.
Yeah, I'll just say, if it's good enough for Picard, I'm pretty sure we're going to keep using it for a long time.
Yeah, the thing that bothered me most about the Star Trek LCARS interface is that it never changed. No matter what button they pressed, nothing ever changed. It was always exactly the same.
Well, the text changed. It was just so small you couldn't see it. I can see the glass literally forming, malforming, changing shape, having bumps come out, having a height and depth come out of the glass, just because. I mean, why not? Is the kind of thing. I think the biggest difference is going to be everything is going to be or have an interface in the future. Doesn't matter. It literally just might be a little bar with the 2 little letters on it, but everything is going to have some sort of interface. And I hate to say it, I think almost like that video, it's going to be gamification. Everything's going to be gamification. I'm going to put my toothbrush like back and forth movement towards my Facebook happiness sensor. And, the more you brush up, it's bigger smile, bigger smile, bigger smile. Hey, post your big smile. So Mark Zuckerberg can become the president again of the United States of America, because his head's in a jar and we love him. I'm not better.
All right, so Eric, tell us about Kadaza, the visual internet start page.
Well, I was going to, but I really think that we should maybe talk about Patreon, and the lack of any donations this week, and the promise, and not the promise, I guess, but the threat that Mark made last week. If you've enjoyed this show so far, don't send any money. But if you'd rather have us back, hook door up.
I think we should hold the apps hostage. I'm with you on that.
Hey, look, I'm not going to say we can't. But what I will say is, I'm still going to share apps with the people who are currently giving Patreon.
I did bring this app. I teased it out there. Mark read its name. All right. So I'm feeling nostalgic and retro for some reason this week. So I'm going to bring a couple of them. Kadaza, Kadaza, is the visual internet start page. Basically, it takes you back to before it was Google. We had a start page, right? We had a home page. You get on the internet, you didn't know exactly what you're going to do right then. You might have had an idea of what you kind of wanted to do, but you really didn't know where to start. And this brings that back for you. So you click it, and basically it gives you like categories of like news, shopping, travel, sports, finance and biz, career and edu, home and garden, social and blog, automotive, and it's got the whole internet just broke down into different categories for you. And then you can click on each one of them to go to that either app or web page, depending on if it's on your phone or not. Some great suggestions are like YouTube, Facebook, the Weather Channel, New York Times, Gmail, Outlook, CNN, ESPN, Yelp. And yeah, so if you're just thinking about jumping right onto the internet with just a search, this is a way to get away from that. Just try it the old school.
I only have one question. How did this app get 10,000 to 50,000 downloads?
It's, some people still use AOL.
But do they have smartphones?
And Yahoo.
Well,
and they just got a smartphone and they were missing that.
I love that the video actually shows a mouse, because that's what you use on an Android app. You use a mouse to interact with it.
Some people do. I guess there's a tablet out there with a USB port that you could accept a mouse, I suppose. I didn't watch the video. I thought it was a better app than that.
What watching this makes me wonder is, how in the hell did we, in the past we had many sites that did this.
Uh-huh.
How did we blindly trust them in the past? How did we not say, well, I don't trust this thing. It's going to be too busy showing me things that it's been paid to show us. And
Because
yet in the
nobody was
past,
making money on the internet back then.
I guess. I mean, I want to install it just because I want to see their offerings. The thing I hate about the internet now is the bubble.
Mhm.
It's so difficult for me to find things that are outside of the things I already know about, but that aren't completely bat crap crazy. It's really difficult for me to find other things outside my circle that are sane, is what I'm going to try to say.
Back in the day, when you saw a GeoCities link ring, you knew you could trust those people.
Yeah. Like, oh, well, where am I going now?
Because those people, they had met online for tens of seconds and had a real connection with one another, and their links could be trusted.
So I just hit the career and education part, and you've got like Monster, Indeed, LinkedIn, Career Builder, Udemy, Luminosity. But then there are some things that I hadn't heard of, like the Ladders. Have you ever heard of the Ladders?
Uh-uh.
I haven't either.
It's a job search site.
Yeah. Coursera's on here. I mean, which is good. That's, but then there's like Khan Academy's in there. A lot of it's the stuff you already know. I mean, seems like it's pretty good. There's one called Upwork, Freelancer, Glassdoor. There's a couple things. Rate My Professors. Just a couple things in that category that I didn't know about. But all the normal players there. It's not. I mean, it's like here. This is your first day on the internet.
Right.
These are the places you're probably going to want to go.
Well, and then the stupid question is, how do kids know where to go these days?
They just go to Facebook and Snapchat.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't think I don't know.
They go to Google and type in the Google search bar, Disney.com. And that's how they know how to get there.
But what if their browser defaults to Yahoo as a search engine?
They don't care.
I don't know.
I mean, my kids really, to them, the internet is YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. That's the internet.
Mm.
And their school homework site. They don't do anything else ever at all. Well, that's not true. Occasional Pinterest. But that's about it.
Yeah, Pinterest. No Snapchat?
I'm not allowing that just yet.
Oh, really? I thought they got rid of the bad stuff.
If you got a group of teenagers online together, there will be bad stuff.
Yeah, Eric, I love
you. It wasn't like, I didn't say chat roulette. Jeez.
And thank God Snapchat's losing money left and right, and they're losing login numbers every month. It's just a matter of time. The only question is, how far down will it go before everybody just stops going there?
Well, Instagram is the new Snapchat. What do you do on Instagram? I'm chatting with my friend Bethany. Wait, you're chatting on Instagram? Why would you? That's for pictures. Oh, Dad.
Exactly.
I didn't know that either. I'm going to be testing out a new social network though for the next episode.
I think KIK.
No.
Good. because some random guy who I have no idea who it is asked my son to join KIK when he was playing Minecraft. And I'm like, that's only a couple letters away from KKK.
No, KIK is a chat. It's like IQC or whatever.
CQ.
I know. And since I saw their terms of service, I said, son, legally, you can't join that. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was home for lunch and Crime Watch Daily was on and they kept pimping a certain website. It's called backdoor.com. I guess that's where you go to. Oh, it was actually Atlanta, I think. Was it Atlanta? I don't know. Some major cities. Backpage.
Yeah.
yeah. So they were a big stink. They kept person after person kept coming to this hotel to meet up with a 15-year-old girl. It's like, dang, man. They could hardly arrest them fast enough. So I learned that.
It's a thing. It's the seedier side of like Craigslist kind of thing. You sign up for a massage, kind of thing.
Oh, good. Back page. That sounds better than what I said first time. Anyway, that's probably a different thing.
Probably is a thing, and I'm not going to Google it to find out.
Yeah, you don't need those ads. So yeah, this is what it's like when we only bring one app.
So Door's going to post some notes with some links in it. We're just not going to talk about them.
Okay.
He wants to participate. He just doesn't want to be seen.
Literally, we have to let Door bring some apps because it's like I don't know. You kind of get constipated sometimes. Well, we don't want Door to have any issues. I mean, he's already talks about his health as it is. We don't need anything else like that. Holding, don't hold it in, Door. Even if you can't.
I'm just gonna let it hang there.
Door, how you doing? Are you all right?
Okay, I guess. Yeah. I mean, had some buffalo wings for lunch.
Did you?
They were good.
From Buffalo?
They were good. No. From my kitchen.
You actually fry them yourself, or is it frozen and you baked them kind of thing?
Well, frozen, thaw them, bake them, then deep fry them.
Wow, nice.
Last time I tried to make my own hot wings, I basically served blood on a stick. Didn't realize you have to cook those things longer than you might think.
Did you batter them before you fried them, Door, or just dropped them straight in?
Can't batter nothing, dude. I'm diabetic.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I just need to.
There's
my wife can't have batter either. Huh?
Yeah. Most good buffalo wings, to be honest, have no batter on them. Just the skin crisp up.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean the bad thing is the deep fryer really can only hold like 3 or 4 wings at a time or pieces at a time. So, it takes a little time.
You ever tried one of those oilless fryers, the hot air things?
That doesn't. I mean, I understand. I understand the physics behind them.
Well, like a hot air popper, isn't it? Is that the physics?
But yeah, for them to call them hot air fryers just makes me want to just punch them right in the neck. There ain't no frying going on.
I oillessly fry my turkey every year Thanksgiving, and it's not the same as a fried turkey, but it's like 80% of the same with 0% of the cleanup and mess. So it's a trade-off. So if the home ones are equivalent to that, I could see how they'd be okay, but I can't imagine getting that kind of heat in your kitchen without burning down your kitchen.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you get it on your turkey? Because that's a big thing to do it to.
Well, it's a big thing. You can Google it. It's the Charbroil oilless turkey fryer. It's a big propane powered. Essentially, it's a small tandoori oven. Is really what it is. They call it infrared heating. It just means that the steel around it gets really hot.
Exactly.
And
infrared type thing.
Yeah, and it works. Yeah, it's good. It's not as good as a fried turkey, but it's good enough. And I don't have to deal with 5 gallons of nuclear hot oil when I'm done.
Exactly.
So that's the way we've done it the last several years. So maybe if the ones in the kitchen, Android App Addicts, maybe if the ones in the kitchen are that quality, I could go for it. But they seem awfully pricey for what you get.
Well, and cube footage wise, I believe they cannot cook much because
Right.
there's no way they can evenly heat, because that's what it requires. Unbelievably even heat in a cubic square footage area or cubic inch footage area. You're not going to be able to get that. And I look at the prices. I'm like, no, I'll rather just pressure cook stuff or actually deep fry it. Because the dirty secret about deep frying is the higher the temperature, the quicker the cook, and the higher the temperature, the less the actual grease seeps into the food, the more healthy it is. So just get the highest temperature deep fryer you can get, and you will be healthier, is what I'll say. Because here's the whole gimmick. There's no black, there's no white, there is no healthy, there's no unhealthy. There's just shades of gray for life itself. So your goal in life should not be healthy. It should be healthier. And then next week, maybe a little bit healthier. Because if you try to make yourself healthy, you're going to hate yourself and everybody around you. So just, keep it real.
So what's your least? Steve, if Steve Cherubino was still here, this would be a good one for him. What I'm thinking, I've got one in my head. The worst kitchen gadget you ever bought, where you just genuinely felt like, what a pile of crap I just got ripped off. Do you guys have any of them?
Chocolate milk stirring whisk from Peppered Chef.
That's pretty bad.
It works not as it doesn't even work as well as a teaspoon in a glass of milk, and it's $4. Yeah.
I'll let Dora chew on this one for a second. I bought the meal toaster. Have you ever seen the meal toaster?
That's where you take the bread and the egg and the meat. No,
you can take chicken wings.
It's like a George Foreman grill.
Yeah, but it's like a toaster. You put them you put your food in a basket, then you just drop it into the top of the toaster, and when it's done, you pull it up. And you can put like your chicken wings and your vegetables in the basket at the same time and toast and drop them in.
What?
You bought that off of television, did you?
I don't know where I bought it.
Meal toaster.
No, they don't call it a meal toaster.
Oh, well then it's going to be really hard to find.
Well, it is by Showbiz, I think, or Papil. Whoever makes the Showbiz pizza or the Showbiz rotisserie, that's the best. That's the best kitchen gadget you can ever buy yourself.
The Ronco Ready Grill.
Okay, that sounds like it's right. Yes,
$39.99.
That is the worst thing you can ever buy, right there. Yep, the meal toaster, Ronco Ready Grill.
That doesn't look what I'm looking at doesn't look really trustworthy, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, if you like Mark Cockrell type chicken wings, where there's still just a little tinge of red in the middle, yeah, that's the one you buy. Because it don't work.
Patreon.com/Android App Addicts.
But
Patreon.com/Android App Addicts.
But I can't say enough about the rotisserie. You guys got a rotisserie? Do you have a Showbiz?
I don't have a rotisserie.
Oh man, I bought my first one.
It would be like an anemic oven. Like all it does is sort of heat up a little bit.
I bought my first one at a rummage sale. Actually, I've never bought one new. I'll put it that way. I've owned two now, and they've both been used. But that's okay. They're worth. I don't know. They might be expensive new. But to put a chicken in there or a pork roast, and the juices just flows over top of itself over and over again as it spins.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
No, it's good.
I ain't got time for that.
Set it and forget it.
No, there ain't no. I need it now. It's my money, and I want it now.
Okay, go buy it.
No, we don't know. Everything has to be done in minutes. We don't have time for that. We literally come home, defrost something, cook, done, eat. Period. Because we all work during the day. I mean, once or now, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, we'll the night before put a roast in a
crock pot,
in a crock pot and something, and then let it go to the next day. But me, the whole time at work, I'm thinking, my house is burning down. 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 I can't stop thinking my house is burning down. You know what? Yeah, that was a pretty good, smart thing to say in that meeting. But right now, my house is burning down. I can't stop thinking about it. So I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
You guys are old enough to have been around during the bread machine craze.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You pour some flour and some yeast and some water in a machine, and 3.5 hours later, you have mediocre bread.
Yeah, at best. It was it was homemade though, you know. Nothing like you would think bread should ever be, and probably holes in it the size that all of your jelly drips through straight through, but it's fine.
And the big paddle, gets stuck in the bottom. So there's this hole
Yes.
in the bottom that you had to like scrape the bread off the paddle.
Yeah.
Patreon, patreon.com/Android App Addicts. $10 donation gets you 10 apps a week. Just saying.
Yeah. I'll say we bought a lot of kitchen things, Eric. I will say that. We have the authentic KitchenAid stand mixer that she loves.
Oh, yeah.
Mark said pampered chef. We have what looks like a caulk gun, Mark. It's a huge, gigantic thing that looks like a
Cookie dispenser
that displays cookies. The gimmick is we figured out if the pan that you're shooting the stuff onto is ice cold, if it's been sitting in the freezer for 10 minutes and you pull it out and you immediately start to use it, the cookies stick to it perfectly every time. But if the pan's not ice cold or the stone isn't ice cold, it doesn't work very well. But it's still a good purchase. She loves it.
What about aluminum foil?
Aluminum is one of the worst conductors of heat, I believe, or maybe it's the best because it doesn't.
That's why it doesn't stick, though. It doesn't stick because it doesn't get that hot.
It doesn't stay cold. Yeah, it doesn't stay hot or cold. It transmits the temperature too quickly. We bought stones, the round stones.
Oh yeah, those are great.
I love those things. I had a cast iron skillet for years. Oh yeah. What can you not cook in a cast iron skillet? I mean, I don't care.
That's all we use.
I could use it for broccoli, and the broccoli would come out delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like broccoli anyway. Now I got the deep fryer. I got the little rapid egg cooker where I can do like 7 hard-boiled eggs.
Oh yeah, I bought one of them at a rummage sale recently for like $2.
I love that damn thing.
You didn't do an omelet in it though, did you? Have you ever tried cracking an egg and cooking? That was pretty freaky.
We did quote unquote dippy eggs for my cousin because he only eats dippy eggs, which mine has 3 trays. The 2 little trays to where you can do when you boil the egg, when you crack it in water, it's boiling water. What's it called?
Oh,
poached egg. Well, we did it like that with less water in it, so it was dippy for him. He loved it. When my wife tried to do an omelet, she said the top and the bottom were not cooked the same. Like one of them, she had to put back in for a couple more minutes.
So you're talking about the one where you have to put a small hole in the egg, right?
Yes.
I thought that was so weird when my wife told me we had to do this.
Well, and then the gimmick is you better put it in the right end. Man, I didn't mean to say that out loud.
Yeah. You can tell me what happens when you put it in the wrong side.
There's the bigger and the smaller end of the egg. You put it in the smaller end of the egg and put that up. What will come out is almost like a worm. Like the white will just start coming out in the middle of cooking. You do it on the other side, there's already an air bubble. The bigger side, you put the part in, and then it just air comes out. And then when you crack the egg, it's like perfectly egg shaped.
You guys ever tried the rotating hair dryer pizza maker thing? The Presto
Pizzazz pizza? Oh, I love it.
He loves
really?
it.
That's the best. Oh, I cook anything that comes out of the freezer is cooked on that in my house. I don't ever use the oven. Like tater tots and chicken strips that are breaded.
I know,
and
I don't understand
fish sticks.
It can heat up. Okay, listen, by the laws of nature and physics, it heats something up for 20% of the time at most, and then 80% of the time it's not heating it up. And then again, 20% of the time it heats up, but then 80% of the time it's not. How can it really heat it up?
So Eric, do you not have a toaster oven for that sort of thing?
No, we don't do a toaster oven.
See, that's the thing. The toaster oven is the perfect tool in the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't go. Okay, hey, turnover in the chat room just pledged $5 a month.
So he says, can we get a verification from the East German judge?
You would get it in your email. Oh, I just saw it.
Actually, you have your campaign suspended.
I just saw it.
Okay.
What? Suspended?
Don't you? Because for the...
Not Patreon.
Okay. I thought you did. Wait, didn't I just go to Patreon and see that you had it suspended until October 1st?
Oh, I suspended our income, yes, but they can still pledge and stuff.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Because I did promise, and it took me almost a month to suspend the Patreon income, asking people to please go pre-order a copy of the Messengers, the podcast documentary.
Oh, by the way, that came out today. I don't know these things because I don't have an Apple product, but I did do the pre-order, and my daughter texted me today, "Hey, your documentaries just came out." I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm excited to see it.
I'll just say there was a group talking about a podcast that I will never in my life suggest or subscribe to. It was a podcast all about the female menstrual cycle. And God bless them for doing such a podcast.
Is that weekly, daily, or monthly?
Every 28 days.
Every 20 days. And I think it was literally called something like Hold the Flow, I believe. I mean, it was bad. I mean, there's, listen, I can't say any more because I'm just going to keep digging a hole, but damn it, I'm never going to, I don't care how funny it is. I'm not. No, don't. I love my wife dearly. I tell her the number one way to make me less excited is to do the damn laundry. I'm just saying. So you enjoy the rest of the documentary. There's some really honestly nice people that I've never met that just come off really nice, genuine people. Chris, one of the main guys behind it, really nice. Steve took the little excerpt of when we talked about it and sent it to him, and he was giddy, and he went to one of his conferences and played it live during the conference and said, here's an example of a podcast doing things right, kind of thing. So,
Nice.
Yeah, support those who support you. Bottom line.
All right, so since we got a donation, a pledge on Patreon, do you have an app?
Yeah, we do, but I gotta say really quick. I was listening to a podcast that made me feel just how stupid and incompetent I am. They said in a podcast for them to be successful and for them to keep doing what they were doing, they needed over $35,000 a month. And they weren't kidding. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm barely making 150. The hell? And this show sucks. And
You
they're
barely
not
make 150
funny.
a month?
Yeah.
You're doing better than that.
Well, yeah, but they're not doing 35,000. But here's the thing: their show sucks. They cuss to cuss. Their funny is not funny. They're unbelievably ignorant and rude about everything, and everything is just a joke to try to get the other guy on the show laughing. So anybody is like, they're not in the in crowd, and yet we have people giving these guys money. Obviously, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'll say that. Okay, app. Sorry, turnover. Delay.
No, I think this proved what you know what you're doing. Mission accomplished. Turnover. Thank you. Good job.
And the first thing I'll say is I believe it was Trevor or Gustav. I don't know one of them said, thank you for trying to bring non-game apps. Well, trust me, every week my goal is to never bring a game. It is really hard sometimes to find good apps that just don't completely suck or are pointless or are stupid or just rehashing of stuff we already saw. And I am never going to bring an icon pack to this show. There is, I'll go back on this one more time. There's nothing more lazy in the universe than to open up Inkscape and make 10 little icons and put it in the store and charge $10. My God, at least, no. Okay, I'm not bringing that. So here's the first one. It's a game, but at least it's a classic RPG-ish, D&D-ish type game. It's called Tunnels and Trolls Adventures instead of Dungeons and Dragons. Tunnels and Trolls. There is in-app purchases, which I do believe gives you more adventures, more I can't remember what they were called in D&D when you would go buy a book and it would be like
expansion packs, like different adventures, different sets kind of thing, where you basically have to do things like roll dice to see if you can deliver a critical hit, roll dice to see the strength of your character kind of thing. Again, this caught my eye. The biggest reason this caught my eye is just because this is different. This is not the kind of thing you see every day. And it was mostly textual, yet I still brought it. So that should tell people something. I typically don't bring text heavy into the show.
I'm a little disappointed with the lack of a multi-sided dice. When you got a computing power behind you and you got a game like this, you should be able to take it up a level from the physical dice that we used to try to read and roll. And this just got the regular 6-sideds.
Yeah, I didn't say anything besides the 6-sided, which kind of shocked me. I expected I'd see at least like a 20-sided or, a 5-sided. 5-sided? 4-sided.
We should have 4D dice or something now. Smell-o-vision or something.
But there is a picture of a scantily clad female warrior princess. So, they got that base covered.
Yeah. And I'll just repeat something I've been telling my son now for 2 weeks straight a lot. And that is, perfection is the enemy of completion. If you spend your time looking for that perfect D&D game, I'm pretty sure you will never be satisfied. Okay. Life is compromise. That's what I try to explain to my son. Life is compromise from the beginning to the end. And if you don't compromise, you will never be happy. You will never fall in love. You will never be satisfied about anything. Now it's selective. Maybe we can get by with a 6-sided die for now. You know what I mean? Maybe. But then again, I'll say, if you want to play D&D, Eric, and you want to play this for real, you just got to let me know. Roll20.net. It's a website with the built-in Google Hangout thing where we can have dice in the screen. And
I don't know if I would even know what to do. I don't know if I want to walk into it that way either.
Number one tip: never leave the crowd. Number 2 tip: never follow a woman to a room. Number 3 tip: never put your hand in something you can't see the other end of, or else the DM will crush you. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I learned them the hard way. But yeah, this is Tunnel and Trolls Adventure, completely free to download and install. Does have ads, does have in-app purchases by Meta Arcade. Everyone 10 and up. 29 reviews, 3.7 average reviews. Updated August 7th, 2017. Between 1,000 5,000 installs. Current version 1.0.49. Still pretty new. Still fairly new. In-app purchase price range from 99 cents to $9.99. Of course, fantasy, violence, use of alcohol, warning kind of thing, because it's D&D.
Is that so? If you pick up an elixir, is that use of alcohol?
No, I'm sure when you're in a bar, you can buy beer, and then if you buy too many beers, you might not be able to find your room and pick up without your sword or something.
Your courage points go up, but your hit points go down.
Dexterity, way down.
Yeah.
Nice app.
All right, that's 2 apps. We owe turnover 3 more. So,
okay,
Eric, have you got another one?
Well, I'm going to keep with the theme that I started earlier. And this is not a game. This is another launch place to find new stuff on the internet, and it's called Facepunch Droid. And Dory, you might like this one because there's a nice section of GIFs and short videos that you can go check out. But basically, it's kind of sort of a maybe like dig, I guess, sort of. It kind of like what's kind of popular right now and a few different categories.
Facepunch Droid.
Not directly to websites, but more to content.
Well, I'll just say the name alone, makes me not want to.
It's 4.8 stars, 107 reviews.
Eric, I don't support violence.
That's so not true.
No. Just hoping you didn't.
I like the fact that it's found a bug. Here's GitHub. Basically, roll your own code, dork. That's the way I read that.
Material design, pin pages, a drawer, native image viewer, open source, custom themes, no ads, constant new features.
Okay, so I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but seriously, who the hell is Facepunch?
Yeah, I don't know. It almost seems like that should have been like that was a thing, like a place or something, like a website that I should have known.
Well, I mean, here's a good thing. If you want to make the app better, feel free to contact us through Facepunch, twitter.com/Facepunch. So why don't we, as the Podnutz audience, test this place out and say, why don't you add some, Podnutz shows to your thing?
So yeah, so Facepunch, when I pull it up, it says general discussion. There's 255 people viewing that right now. Videos and flash movies and that kind of crap. Sensationalist headlines. I'm not going to read the next one. Sponsored spam bots. Hardware and software. Creationism corner. Film, television, and music.
Wait a
And
minute.
then under
Creationism. Is that 3D printing and making, or is that Jeebus?
it's
That's the
draw the cutest character you can.
Ah, okay.
Creative photography, 2D digital art, digital 3D art chat.
Okay. Sorry, because when I hear creationism, I don't know what to take it as anymore these days.
I know. So they got games, developers, modeling. Here you go. Developers modeling.
I've always been told I could be a model of what not to look like.
I don't, Jesus. Well, I'm gonna tell you, Eric, I'm not gonna lie. Nothing about this grabs me. I would not have clicked this link, and I would have not have looked at it. But I think I'm going to install it, and I'm going to at least play with it. I'm going to see, because I keep looking for those niches of content or people creating stuff that I don't know about.
Under modeling, though, it's developers modeling. So this is like more gaming kind of thing. Halo porting thread, Titanfall ports and hacks.
You even model?
Gary's mod has its own section in here. You know, Gary, so there you go. And then there's the bottom of the forums, the drop dead thread at the bottom.
Drop dead thread. Got it. Okay, sure. Yes.
All right.
Anyway.
What's your next one?
Take me 1 second here because I forgot to do this. Okay, this is actually, and you guys know me, I'm not a VR guy at all. I saw this literally now an hour and a half ago. Haven't had a chance to download it. And I'm going to fully admit, $3.99. Don't care. Google Opinion Rewards means it actually cost me nothing except to tell Google 30 times in the last week, no, I haven't been to that store either. Nope, haven't been to that store either. Nope, what the hell is that? I never even heard of that store. Haven't been there either. So it's free money. But there's only a few cases where I think VR can truly like draw you in without having to run around the room and fall over stuff. You know what I mean? And I think it's a hard balancing act. This is one of those places where I believe it fits perfectly because you can literally just sit on a chair or sit on the ground, you know, on your knees or whatever kind of thing. And you can do this complete thing and have a hell of a lot of fun. Using Google Cardboard, stick the phone in your head, and then it's SBK VR. SBK is super bikes. You know, the Kadi type racing bikes and stuff. It's $3.99. I'm gonna buy it, use the Google Cardboard, immediately when I buy it, try it, and if it doesn't actually play good, because my question is, how am I going to control the gas? You know, I mean, that's one thing I don't know. But this is the kind of thing where I could see actually being really fun, really cool. I'm a guy who used to love Excite-A-Bike. I used to love motocross in television. I loved Hang On in the arcade. I was a motorcycle game loving, and I see this and I keep thinking this could be a hell of a lot of fun or really disappointing. I don't know.
1 to 5 installs. This is new, folks.
I know. Door's like, this game literally came out today. And I'm going to say it's going to be disappointing because it is incompatible with all of my devices. So that's bad for me. But because it's so new, as Dora always says, give it some time. It will come out to more devices.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Everything that says that, I beg people, take note of it, but ignore it. In most podcast players now, there are ways you can set bookmarks. So you can set a bookmark, or you can because what I do now is in Podcast Addict, when there's something I want to remember, I go pause the podcast, go to the corner, share position, and then I do a private DM to myself in Twitter or Google Plus. So I have a direct link right to that exact spot in the podcast again. So what I beg people to do is do this and set a reminder for 3 days, 5 days, 1 week to come back and check this out. Because yes, this app literally came out, I believe, less than 12 hours ago. So it's only going to be available on a very small amount of devices. Very soon it's going to be everybody. And I'm just literally, I'm going to try it because it doesn't matter. If it's even halfway good, I'll have a hell of a lot of fun.
If the developers have any skill at all, the throttle control will be tilting the phone in your fist forward and backward.
Well,
You need a second phone then.
yeah, it can't because it's a VR thing. It has to be on the helmet. So either you lean forward and lean back, which is really dangerous.
No. You
Last
got
time I forgot the
got-
phone.
you got a Bluetooth game controller,
Well, or you have a gamepad.
left and right.
Oh no,
Or
I've
leaning.
never had
bump.
the VR experience. I've never worn Google Cardboard. I forget that you have to actually put the phone on your face.
Well,
a
Yeah.
alien face hugger.
because you look so good, you wouldn't want it on your face anyway. I understand, Mark.
I just wish I wish I could go more than 5 minutes without my phone overheating. That's the worst part about it.
Oh, okay. Step one: don't buy a Samsung.
Well,
Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
no, you're not. I mean, it's just that's the flagship that I got from 3 years ago. 5
Okay,
years
then,
ago, whatever.
then quick tangent. Initial thoughts on the Note 8. You have any?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then, because it was already announced and everything. But I guess you know.
It's going to be a big phone.
I'm just waiting for the
$1,000.
Pixel 2.
Basically $980, $1,000, to which I laugh at. Incredibly. Anybody to spend that kind of money, you are truly sheeple. You're worse than iPhone. You are to spend that much money. You're on drugs.
It's a pretty hefty price to pay for a Samsung. I don't know.
For anything. That's a hefty price to pay for a laptop.
Yeah.
Let alone a phone.
Yeah. People can make fun of iPhone users all day long.
Rhino in the chat room now says, "Door, check PayPal donations." Look at that. See?
Yeah, I'm trying to document.
Well, I know you can't. But you're
Patreon.com/Android App Addicts. Give us the money and we gives you the apps. So we got that's it. We $5 get you 5 apps. We have our $5. We got one more app. Eric, I think I'm going to give you the honor of the last app of the night.
Ooh.
Make it good.
Yeah, let me look through here, and I'm gonna go with Icy Ropes. And I will do a little copy and paste action, yeah. Icy Ropes by Playside Studios. Basically, this is 2 characters who are connected by a rope, and you have to tap at the correct time to like slingshot each other from peak to peak of these squarish mountains and land on flags and gold and stuff, hopefully, without getting going too far or messing up.
Oh. No video, so it could be good.
It does have pretty good reviews, 4.2, 7,000 reviews.
So do me a favor, go over that mechanic again, because what I see is like columns of stone and 2 things connected. It's almost like an old wrestling strap match where the 2 things are connected by a rope.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and what do you have to do now?
Let me play it again real quick. I just can't remember off the top of my head exactly how it went. I think you held down until you stretched out enough and then you let go. But I'm going to play right now.
While he's doing that, I'll put a call out to the audience. I am looking for a solid poker game, be it Android or other. Not the game. The game is there's lots of good ways to play poker. I'm looking for a poker community where the retards don't shove all in every hand and treat it like Russian roulette, so because they know they're going to get another 10,000 tokens the next time they reload.
Oh, you're going to have to get online with something with real money then.
Well, that's not legal in the U.S.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a good poker game, not a good poker app. Anybody out there know? Let me know. I like to play poker. I don't like to play flip the coin. So
Okay, so the game mechanics of this is you hold down and the guy jumps, and the longer you hold down, the farther he jumps. You let up and then he lands. But if you go too far and land him, the rope has tension and could pull the other guy behind over the edge too.
Ah.
And it's a pretty simple game. And sometimes you can, if you don't make it quite correct, you can. It is a little forgiving where you could fall on a different level a little bit and keep going. But it's really tough. You might as well just throw in the towel if you don't make it right on the top.
And just a word to listener, I can't remember who it was last week that recommended flow-free warps.
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate you. I have now burned through almost all the levels. My wife hasn't seen me in a week. My boss is complaining about my performance. But hey, I'm doing well at the game. So
Dang. It's too bad. Well, is that 5 apps then?
that is fine.
I had to say that because he's just staring at his phone. I could see him in the camera looking at Flow Free
Playing flow free.
as we were talking.
Yeah.
I was just gonna wait for any further comment on that. So Kadaza 1987 Kadaza visual internet start page. Tunnels and Troll Adventure. Excuse me, Kadaza was by Kadaza Productivity. Tunnels and Trolls Adventures by Meta Arcade. Facepunch Droid by Anchor, ANKER apps. SBK VR by Digital Sales SRL. And Icy Ropes by Playside Studios. There's your 5 apps. That's all you paid for. That's all you get. We're not going to do this every week, I promise. Every other week, maybe. But remember,
No.
if you don't pay for what you like goes away. The world has proven that time and time again.
Okay. Here's something that I made that I think is cool. Unfortunately, it's the same color as my background. So on my background, so I'm going to be coming across correctly. It's basically a wallet that I 3D printed that has a little lock here. I put the lock down. Cards can't come out. It has a little lever here that when I hit the lever, which I got to wear in, it ejects cards in a semi fashion to where they're like fanned out. So I like 3D printing. I think it's fun.
Did you design that?
Hell no.
Okay.
I downloaded it from the internet. The thing called the inner
fully
tube.
3D printed? Like the spring in it is plastic and printed and the whole thing, or
there is no spring, but it is all. It is all 3D printed, and it is assembled. And when you print it, it's complete.
What's it say on the side?
I don't know.
Oh,
and design.
Oh, I thought you put something on there.
I mean, it is a spring. It's not a metal spring, but to make those cards jump out like that.
No spring. What it is there's a piece of plastic that is stepped down, and it keeps getting stepped down. And then when you turn it, the highest point is all the way at the very end, because this thing turns right here, and it goes all the way across. My cards stop before it gets all the way down. So it's just that, and it comes in different sizes: 2 cards, 3 cards, 5 cards, 10 cards. And I think the more I use it, the more it's going to get normal, is what I'm going to say. Because at first, every time I did it, it was like snapping cards going flying out, which of course ain't good. But
was that I'm curious about this. Was that a single print?
Yes, and that was the thing. I first printed a couple that weren't. You had to put them together. And then every time I tried to put together, pieces would go flying off from the stress and pressure in it. So I found one that's already completed. You just print it and you break a little tiny piece right here. You just like pop it. And then down here, there's an extra hole in the very bottom. You just take a real small screw driver, put it in there and just tap it once, and it breaks free and it works.
And how much filament did you burn to make that cost wise?
2 cents.
That's crazy cool.
Maybe 3. I mean, it cost a kilogram. A kilogram cost me $9.99. there's no doubt I could print 300 of these at least.
Wow, that's a good illustration. Oh, by the way, Mark, Rhino in the chat room says that Flow Free was the name of that podcast that Dora was talking about earlier.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I chose not to read that, but thanks for going there.
Well, and I'll say if these kinds of things, printing, making, designing excite you, we have a podcast on the network called The Makers. Here's the best thing about the podcast. It literally just started. It literally just got off the ground. If there's ever a time you can help guide a podcast to be something that you would like to see, you don't have to be on it. You don't have to be a part of it to help form and shape the podcast. Just download it, listen to it, contact us, tell us how you think we can make it better. You're a part of a smaller listener base, which means your voice counts for more.
And it's a great podcast. I love listening to it. And you've got the guests you have or the host you have on there know their stuff, and it's very cool to hear the stuff that they work on.
Well, to me, it's the best kind of podcast because I know the least.
Is that listed in iTunes?
You should be in iTunes. The Makers with a Z at the end, MAKERZ.
Maybe that's why I'm not finding it.
Because I'm a UF public school educated, which means I don't spell correctly.
You're wheat. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not coming up in my app. That
There's
anything.
There's a chance I did forget to add it, Mark. Which means I just got to go back and do it, which isn't hard.
There it is. There's no space.
Yeah.
The Maker's one word. You got to decode the secrets of the Sphinx.
And that's one of the reasons why podcasts are difficult to get off the ground.
Cool. All right. Downloading now. And is there a place, Dor, that I could go to support you financially? I'm not sure that anybody's ever mentioned it on this show. Is there a way that could happen?
Everything you could possibly want is at podnutz.com. A little bit down the page, a little bit further down the page, or a little bit further down the page is everything you could want, from direct RSS links to subscribe to shows or to donate or support the shows. We do need to make a page, and I did tell Jeff about this. We need a page where we just list the individual Patreons for all the individual hosts, which I don't think we did yet. How did I say that out loud? But you can go to the main page. All the show notes have all the links for everything talked about during every show, including individual ways to support each individual podcast, or just ways you can support the network as a entirety.
All right. And, if you feel so inclined to throw money at another podcast, I have one.
Oh, yeah.
It's over at elementop.com. You might want to check it out. It's a couple of geeks ranting. Might be the kind of thing that would interest somebody who enjoyed this show tonight.
I'll just say
if
right
you
now,
want more of this, go there.
I just got to tell people, Seth's passion is contagious. Hearing him going off on stuff, it doesn't matter if you agree with him or not. His passion is contagious because you feel it. You definitely feel it when he goes off on something. That came from that guy's heart right there. There ain't no doubt. There is no questioning what his intent is when he opens his mouth. Good stuff.
All right. Fun stuff. I don't have anything else to say. Eric, you have anything you want to plug? What project are you doing this week that you want to plug? Because that's what we do on podcasts, apparently.
Well, I just the project that I would want to plug is the staining of my new fence. That's the project I've been working on all week. I get up an extra hour in the morning to get an hour of daylight in so I can paint or stain, and then go to work, and then come home from work. And if it's not too late, I do it again.
So you haven't talked a neighborhood kid into doing it because it's so much fun to do?
I tried to talk two chicks that walked by into it as it was too fun to do. And then right after they left, a neighborhood kid's like, "Hey, can I help?" I'm like, no, not really. I only got one brush. Sorry.
Brush? You don't have a spray rig for that?
Well, here's the thing. I had 5 gallons of stain. It's a really huge fence, and I didn't know. I've painted with my sprayer. It's an airless sprayer. It sucks through some paint quick, and I think it's 100 No, 100. I don't know. It's like 90 feet long and along the street. It's really long. So I didn't want to run out of stain and have to like try to mix and match a different color on the front outside part of it. Inside, I'm going to spray. I don't care if it matches the part that I see, but resale value, that kind of thing. Got to have it look good out on the front. And I did also put a link in the notes here to a Presto Belgian waffle bowl maker. If you want to make your own Belgian waffle
I can't eat
ice cream.
waffles.
This
Thanks
is
for
an
rubbing
waffle.
it in, Eric.
No, this is an ice cream cone.
Thanks for rubbing it in, Eric.
I mean, kitchen gadgets, man. There's no kitchen gadget I can promote to you that really.
Yeah,
is
you
good
can.
for you.
A bacon cooker. I can eat all the bacon I want.
Hey, I got a juicer that I don't use no more. You into that yet?
Can't do any of that.
You can't juice celery?
Why on God's green earth would I juice celery when I could just eat it?
Because then you don't have to eat it. You can just drink it and get all the nutrients without having to go through all the
First off,
fibers in your teeth.
Okay. 99.999% of Americans are over nutritious. We have too many. We have the most expensive pee in the history of the universe. Okay. We have too many nutrients. We have too many vitamins in our diet. There's no reason for me to juice whatsoever. I'm losing weight faster than I can count. I don't need to lose weight. I just need to get rid of carbs and sugars, and juicing ain't helping me do either. It can't.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking of kitchen gadgets for you.
I can't eat any fruit. That's the thing. Can't eat any fruit. If I could eat fruit, hell, I would try it.
I got a lot of cherry tomatoes right now. They're
you can make waffles with almond flour. You could try that. Almond flour waffles.
Nah, still carbs.
They taste almost like food. No, well, almonds don't have. That is a carb-friendly substitute. Almond flour.
Not that friendly.
I recently switched to soy milk and I'm impressed.
Well, first off, it ain't milk. Oh, my son really made his aunt mad, super mad. He went over her house, spent the night. In the morning, he asked for a bowl of cereal. She put soy milk down in front of him. He literally said, "What the hell is this? Don't you have any milk?" And she said, "It's soy milk." And my son turned and said, "That thing don't have no udders on it. How can that be milk?" And then she stopped and said, "What?" And he said, "Soys don't have no udders on them. It ain't milk. What is it?" And she said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, read the package. It's a soybean. I don't want to drink no bean with my breakfast." I love that kid. God, I love that kid.
Yeah.
Just give her crap for the sake of giving her crap.
All right, I think I can't let this continue. We have to say goodbye. This has been the weirdest show that I've ever been on.
I agree.
So thanks. If you haven't unsubscribed after this, we'll see you next week, where we'll probably talk about an app, assuming you pay up. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. And remember, pay for what you like, or you get shows like this. Bye, everybody.
Okay,
Stop on Audacity. I think it's funny that the people who were really mad at us probably 3/4 of the way through don't realize that we actually brought apps. And I'd say thank you, Rhino, and also Turnover for that. Stepping up and helping out. Very cool.
Show right now before I forget. Okay, get rid of this too. Jesus, get rid of both of these.
478 tonight?
Yes,
right?
478.
That's what he told me. 478.
Hit the damn pole twice, and there's no noise. Man, this is bad, Mark. The worst audio I think I've had.
Don't forget to stop the feed.
Yeah. Well, I need to fix this audio right now, or else I know I'm going to forget. Okay. File, save project as documents. 470.
my piece crap Windows XP machine died, so you're gonna get